Oh, hi, Charlie.
Hey, it's nice to be back here in the antibody arms.
Right?
That's what we call it.
No, you guys all look great. Chris has got a little bit of artwork behind him now instead of looking like he's been confined to an East German prison. And Travis is sitting on Robin Laura Petrie's old couch.
Yeah.
Chris actually looks like one of the East German women in the Olympics back in the 70s.
Hey.
Anyway, listen.
It's true.
So, Charlie, we were just talking about Chuck Schumer invoking emergency powers. What do you make of that? So they're saying he's exploring using an obscure post 9/11 era authority to reconvene the Senate as the House barrels toward impeachment. Obviously, it looks like starting tomorrow morning. In 2004, the Senate majority and minority leaders were given the power to bring the Senate back into session in times of emergency. This would seem to qualify. And the senior Schumer is exploring the option to allow for potential impeachment trial for Trump to begin immediately after the House transmits the articles of impeachment. Here's the ringer, as usual. Both McConnell and Schumer would have to agree to reconvene the Senate, putting pressure back on McConnell,
who never feels any.
Right.
Oh, by the way, hello, Jody Hamilton.
Hello, Charlie.
She's down. She's down below. She's down there. Okay. All right. There you go. But so that won't work with McConnell, is what you're saying?
I don't think so. No. I mean, why would he? I mean, why would he do it? Doing nothing in the national
because emergency. The country's in peril. Okay,
well, he
sorry.
doesn't care about that either. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. When does Chuck Schumer become majority leader? Do we know?
The 20th, right? Or no?
No. I believe Georgia has to be certified by the 15th.
Yes.
So Friday.
Oh, wow. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought it was the 19th that they actually are seated in the Senate.
I think it all depends on when it's certified.
Okay.
And as soon as it's certified, they can be seated.
Yeah, because
but then it still requires both of them. But they would switch
time in history. They're not going to go to Washington.
Right.
But my point is, Charlie, it would still require both of them. It's just they would have switched positions.
Right. Oh, right.
It would still require the minority and the majority leader. But
so it depends on Mitch McConnell deciding whether or not, the first invasion of the U.S. Capitol since 1814 constitutes an emergency.
Right. Yeah. Why would it?
Tough decision.
You were following on, Twitter yesterday, Charlie, about Pence and Mark Short entering the West Wing just before 2 p.m. Trump made it clear he did not want Short to ever enter the White House again, blaming him for advising Pence not to fight the Electoral College while he's back. And you just said, So they're saying the conversation was cordial as it can be as someone who has tried to have you assassinated.
Exactly.
Right.
Right. Mike was there to thank him for not hanging him.
I mean, what do you think this conversation was? Seriously, what do you think this conversation was? Don't you dare lose the 25th Amendment or my mob will assassinate you.
Well, see, that to me is the most interesting thing about the whole Republican reaction to this. In their own subtle way, and in some cases not subtle, they're threatening, don't do this or the mob will come back.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They are using the mob to avoid responsibility.
Yeah, for the mob.
Which is disgraceful. But,
well, I mean, Charlie, so I know everybody keeps saying, he'll never resign. But I mean, I just was saying, one thing you can always count on is Trump's cowardice. And clearly, even Bill Barr told him a self-pardon won't work. Wouldn't that be the only reason he would do it is to get a pardon at the last minute?
I don't, I don't think he'll resign. I don't think there's anybody on earth who can make him resign.
Right, but I mean,
Mitch McConnell doesn't listen to the country, and Donald Trump doesn't listen to Mitch McConnell. So,
by the way, that was a really dirty trick that the State Department paid on us. You retweeted Chris Miller said, "Hey, State Department, what do you know the rest of us don't?" It said yesterday Donald J. Trump's term ended on 2021, the January 11th, which was yesterday. And you said if it's a hack, it's the greatest hack of all time.
Oh, there's no question. Although apparently it wasn't a hack; it was just a guy using the State Department account.
Yeah, a disgruntled employee.
Yes.
Wow.
A man of little gruntlement.
Yeah, it's
and good for him, by the way.
Yeah.
We need to know this hero's name. We really do.
It's such a tense
I think it's
time.
Pompeo.
You think it's Scott Baio?
I think it was an attempted coup d'etat by Pompeo.
Yeah.
Oh, Pompeo, not Scott Baio.
I thought you said Scott
No, not
Baio.
Scott Baio. No.
Ew. Okay. So Michael Betzlaw said, very noisy helicopters flying around the vice president's residence. What is going on? I mean, it is really like, we're just like, this is such a unbelievably tense time, Charlie, right? I mean, between now and inauguration.
Yeah, the helicopters were from the Proud Boys Black Ops section.
I mean,
they would have dropped commandos, but nobody has parachutes strong enough to hold those guys.
But listen, you had a fun fact. You said technically Pence has to resign as vice president before he can assume the presidency. He can't hold two constitutional offices. I would not take any bets on anything that happens in the next week.
Yeah. I mean, I have a feeling that however, that most of the action is going to take place away from Congress. That keeping an eye on the crazy people is going to be the full-time job for the next 4 weeks.
Unfortunately, yes.
I mean, they're going to do this thing today where they vote to get Pence to enact the 25th Amendment, which he's not going to do, and then they're going to vote the impeachment thing is going to sail through, and it's going to run up against the reef in the Senate.
Yeah.
But the other stuff.
Yeah, but
right now, I will guarantee you, the Republican politicians are terrified. They're terrified of losing their influence, and they're also terrified of the vengeance of these guys.
Yeah.
Because if they don't toe the line, the crazy people will hate them more than they hate the Democrats.
Yeah,
this is true.
And they will
and it's already been shown for that to happen.
Right.
Those people chasing down Lindsey Graham in the airport were not Democrats. They were far-right Republicans.
Mm-hmm. And Mitt Romney on the airplane.
Yep.
Yeah. And so, by the way, our friend Chairman Schiff, who's been right about everything yesterday.
9 days is a long time for this president to do damage. He showed that on Wednesday when we were going through what should have been an important historic but ceremonial process of counting the electors. So I think every day he's in office, he remains a real and present danger to the country. And the best thing would be for him to resign. That would be the most immediate. The next best thing would be for the vice president to invoke the 25th. But Mike Pence has seldom shown the courage to take an act like that, or if ever. And that means that we need to do what's within our power, and impeachment is within our power.
As you know, Charlie, that would not promote unity, and your headline was perfect. I'm not listening to any calls for unity from the people who fueled this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean,
Kevin McCarthy offered a compromise that was basically give me everything I want.
Right.
And I'll give you, a memo on censure that will mean nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Meanwhile, give me a special commission to study the quote unquote irregularities, which are all lies and which fueled this thing in the first place.
But exactly. By the way,
thanks,
what was that word?
What
was that word Ted Cruz used? Oh, we're just asking for a tribunal. What? We don't do tribunals
like we had in 1877 that disenfranchised all the black folks.
Right.
We want another one of those.
Right. But I mean, it's all so unprecedented, Charlie. An election that has been in the courts and lost 60 times, that has been certified by every state, that has been like, what is that even? It's just so un-American. We need a tribunal now because
it's operating on the philosophy that you can convince your idiot base of anything.
Right.
And basically all they're doing now is convincing the idiot base that they're traitors somehow because they haven't been able to do it. Because there's no way to do it.
Here's what I'm interested in. So the Constitution gives Congress clear authority to punish its members and to expel them. The House and Senate have used the expulsion power only rarely because disgraced members tend to resign. The problem is this Republican Party has no shame. Representative Cori Bush introduced a resolution with 47 co-sponsors to commence a disciplinary review of all 139 Republicans who voted to overturn the election results to see if they should be censured or expelled. Charlie, my strong view is they should. What do you think, and what do you think can happen?
I think certainly people like Gates and Andy Biggs and Paul Gosar, whose entire family thinks he should be expelled.
Yes.
And what's her name from Colorado, who just got there. If she's found to have, essentially functioned as Radio Rwanda through all of this.
Yeah.
she's got to go to trial. She's got to go to jail.
She's the one that tweeted Pelosi's location.
Right.
Right.
I mean, and if she's in contact with any of the people outside the chamber, she's got to go tomorrow. I mean,
absolutely.
And
I mean,
the Senate, they've only expelled 15 senators in history, and 14 of them were guys that allied with the Confederacy. So that was sort of like resigning.
Well, except I agree with Sherrod Brown. He called for Cruz and Hawley's resignation, saying they betrayed their oaths of office and abetted a violent insurrection on our democracy. If they do not resign, the Senate must expel them. Senator Whitehouse says he would consider the expulsion of Cruz and Hawley. I say absolutely.
I'm just saying they don't do it. They didn't expel McCarthy.
But you know what kills me, Charlie?
It's just hard to do.
Who did it? Was it Toomey? Whoever did the usual party line? I think the voters should decide about Cruz and Hawley.
Work out, by the way.
No, but Charlie, this is my point. They always say let the voters decide, and then when the voters do decide, no, they didn't decide right. Yeah, this is right. So they always move the goalposts. So it's like whenever there's real consequences that are going to happen, no, we have to let the voters decide about Ted Cruz.
It's interesting, though, that chronic bad faith has slipped way down the list of crises the Republicans have brought on us. Chronic bad faith is always going to be there with these guys.
Yeah.
Until they, lose a whole bunch of elections.
Right.
At every level. And that's the only way to lance the boil. I mean, I thank you to the corporations that aren't going to contribute to these guys. I think that's that's a serious threat.
Yeah.
If the money spigot dries up, you got problems.
Yeah. 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 Funny how companies think being associated with insurrection is bad
American
business.
politics and the healing process is going to have to muddle through without Sheldon Adelson.
Sheldon Adelson has left us. So I love how they think they can hide these guys. Representative Pete Sessions, Republican of Texas, quietly deleted a tweet. You can't quietly delete a tweet anymore, saying he had met with the Stop the Steal rioters ahead of the armed insurrection. He told them to keep fighting.
Oh, excellent.
He tweeted, had a great meeting today with folks from Stop the Steal at our nation's capital. I encouraged them to keep fighting and assured them I look forward to doing my duty on January 6th. # Stop the Steal. And so they think they can just delete a tweet.
They're never going to get their arms around the fact that there are 15-year-olds out there who are better at this than they are.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, who's that? Isn't there a woman, a white hat hacker who managed to save all of the Parler tweets after the platform went down?
Yes.
Yep.
That's fabulous.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if you guys, I managed to read some of the stuff on Parler, and all of these companies absolutely made the right decision. Yes. That is not free speech. That is a lot of calls for violence.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, go ahead, Charlie. Sorry.
No, I agree with you. I almost took a membership just for monitoring sake under.
Travis did.
Rose Cohen or something. What?
Yeah, I had an alt account on Parler that I would go on and check out things over there.
Under your own name, or did you come up with
no.
Yeah. So here's Ted Lieu talking about the actual impeachment articles which he helped write.
David Cicilline, Jamie Raskin, and I crafted this article of impeachment to be narrow and very straightforward. So we hope some Republicans will vote for it. And it's going to be very. We already know with a recent poll that over 56% of American public already support removing this president immediately.
I mean, Charlie,
they started writing it in lockdown.
Yeah,
I know. Yes. I know. I mean, Charlie, it's just how are we in politics as usual? When the same members almost got killed as well, Republicans and Democrats.
I don't know this. I mean, this has been the case since 2017. God knows, there's no maps to this. We're in a country with no maps.
Yeah,
and no landmarks.
Right.
Yeah.
We're all stumbling around in the dark.
He is going to be impeached again to explain to people, right?
That'll happen.
He will be a twice impeached president. It's just what happens then.
Twice impeached and twice lost the popular vote.
Right. Yeah. Oh, we're sorry to keep bringing that up.
He will go down in history for going. He will go down in history for going down in history.
And as a sports guy, he's most mad about the PGA, about the golf tournaments, not wanting to be associated with Trump courses anymore.
Mm-hmm. And of course, his friend Bill Belichick has said, "Nah, I don't want the medal.
Nah, yeah.
No, I got these 6 Super Bowl rings. I don't need any more jewelry, thanks."
Yeah.
Bill Belichick, coach of the New England Patriots.
Yes.
Very good.
Oh, look what Chris learned last hour.
What?
Who's the big boy?
I learned sports.
Oh my God. Oh, and Charlie, thank you for searching for new job opportunities for us. Should, in fact, there still be a successful coup, for it's still time. The Juno spacecraft orbiting Jupiter has discovered an FM radio signal coming from the moon.
No.
Right. You said the find is a first-time detection from the moon, and you say it's an oldie station.
Absolutely.
But you know what?
It's an alien yelling for Freebird.
Well, we can flip that sucker to progressive talk.
And by the way, guys, if this whole FaceTime social distancing thing doesn't work, that's the next stop.
There you go.
You'll be broadcasting from Jupiter.
I will do my.
You'll be broadcasting from Ganymede.